I don't think these volume bars look nice.
I think they look nice. In voice meter?
No, I'm not using voice meter.
What are you using?
I'm just using regular audio.
Okay. Audiodacity.
Yeah, I'm using Audiodacity.
Oh.
What? Oh, you just figured out?
No. Are you familiar with the concept of having a Phoenix Down moment?
You're talking about the video game?
Yeah, the
Where
video game item Phoenix Down.
You eat a feather and you come back to life?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're aware of this, and I had this moment as well, but there's like a lot of people have a moment
where
can
I guess?
Yeah.
Is it that they have a moment where they realize the whole time, oh, Phoenix down like feather, Phoenix like you come back to life. I've been playing this game for 20 years and I didn't realize. Is that the moment?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. See, I never had that moment with Phoenix down because I never really played those Final Fantasy games.
Okay.
So it never. I guess I've had those moments for other things.
Seti says, "Oh, Phoenix down."
Down. Like, you're down because you're dead, and down like feather, and it's a feather of a phoenix that comes back to life, and you come back to life. It's good. It works.
That's good. Okay. But the reason I asked you about
math.
that was because recently on a Giant Bomb podcast, Brad Shoemaker had what I call a Phoenix down moment, but for Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Hatch, because he hatched from an egg.
Like, he just went like, "Oh, Billy Hatcher." It's like, dude, it's in the...
There's not a pun there.
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Yeah. Phoenix down and the feather that cures you.
Oh. It cures you.
Seti has a good one, the miles per hour. But
yeah.
that one also, another one where, like, I learned that it was a pun as I was learning that that's what it was.
Okay.
Like,
see,
I learned...
for me, the thing was, I never figured out that was a pun, but
they also don't use it often.
For two reasons. One, I was a little kid, so I wasn't smart enough to get it, probably. And then it's one of those things where it becomes so normalized to you over the years because you've known it since you were a kid that you stop considering it. So, like, you never go back to it or think about it. But also, they always put it as miles, tails, per hour. So I never got the miles per hour by itself. Like, they always ruined their own pun by putting tails in the middle.
Big Mike in the chat said, I don't get the miles per hour pun. So if anybody out there isn't getting it, miles per hour, like miles per hour because he fast.
I don't even believe Big Mike. Like, I think Big Mike is...
I don't know. Big Mike says LMAO. That's what you say when you're being serious.
Okay, I think Big Mike...
Yeah,
Big Mike just had a Phoenix Down moment.
Yeah, Big Mike. We just created a Phoenix Down moment. That's what podcasting is. It's creating moments for people.
Yes.
For people.
That's our product.
Well, we're not selling it because this one's free.
No, I mean... You don't have to sell it for it to be a product. We're producing it.
That's true. It just has to be produced for it to be a product, I guess.
Hey, guys. I'm Kyle Churchill. This is Keith Carberry. We're Run Button. Welcome to our product.
Welcome to our product. Welcome to the Run Button product.
We're so glad that you could come here to interact with our brand this evening.
This is our production line. I'm Keith Carberry, and that's Kyle Churchill. It's a short line.
Yeah, I put in the radios, and Keith puts on the passenger side doors.
Yeah. Do you do the whole radio, or do you just do the inside and someone else puts on the knobs?
Oh, it comes with knobs, baby.
It comes with pots pre-attached?
Yep, slide it right in there.
Yeah. That's my favorite. I wish that is one of those. You know how in other countries they have different words for different things? And I'm not talking about...
What? I just had a Phoenix Down moment.
Yeah, so if you go to another country...
anytime I watch anime, I don't know what anyone's saying.
If you go to another country, they will have different words for different things. And so if you go to England, they'll have like mostly the same words and some words that are different. But if you go to like Spain, they'll have almost every word is different over there.
Oh man! Speaking of Spain, I need to talk to you about something very embarrassing.
Oh, okay. So you were summering in Spain, and
I was studying abroad, and then she got out of bed. Hey, everybody! Oh boy! Just okay. Speaking of things that are really embarrassing,
Kyle, don't call chicks broads. That's from something, but I cannot remember what it is.
Some time ago, on some kind of other Run Button product, Run Button has many products that you can patronize. I was telling you about the kids movie, The Book of Life, that tells like I watched it and I was like, oh, this is like a mythologized telling of the story of when they stopped killing bulls in bullfights, because the whole story is like, oh, this guy's from like a long line of bullfighters, but he thinks killing the bull is wrong and he's not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was completely wrong because I didn't realize they still kill the bulls in bullfights.
They do still kill the bulls.
The time.
All the time they do it.
I just listened to the Stuff You Should Know episode about bullfighting. It sounds really bad.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you're with a bull and that bull is really gunning for you, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not technically opposed to killing a bull that's attacking you. But the problem with bullfights, and you might not realize this, is that they're choosing to be in front of that attacking bull.
They're
doing that on
mistake.
Purpose. Yeah, no, if it was like an accidental sport, like a very organic, like accident, everybody buys tickets to watch this accident of this guy accidentally being next to a charging bull. That's not how it works. They like sign up for it and train and stuff.
One of the guys on Stuff You Should Know had been to a bullfight, I believe, and it was in Spain, I think. And he said that the crowd was like 80% like white tourists that then proceeded to boo the whole thing. Like it was just like a bunch of people that had showed up thinking like, this is something I want to watch. And then we're just like, oh, this is fucking awful.
Yeah. I think it really hits. I have not been to Spain. I have not seen a bullfight or any other country that does bullfights. I don't know. But I imagine that there's a point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this like real test of strength, and then all of a sudden there's so much blood, and there's this bull covered in cuts and wounds, and you're like, oh, I'm watching this thing like slowly die.
Yeah. No, the worst part about it was finding out what they do to the bull before the fight.
What do? Do they castrate the bull? Is that what they do?
Torture it. They basically torture it for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's nuts.
They like, what do they do? Okay, they stuff like newspapers in its ears so it can't hear. They stuff cotton up its nose so it can't breathe through its nose. They rub Vaseline in its eyes so that it can't see.
And this is to get it angry enough to fight?
Basically, yeah. And this is like...
And you were talking about like the mythology of stopping bullfights. The real mythology of bullfights is like, these bulls, they see red and they just go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they torture them to make them go crazy. Like the bull... And then like the re-mythologization... What is that? What is the word? The
mythologization.
Yeah, that's the one. The redo of that is like, no, it's not the red, it's the movement. It's like, no, it's the torture. I had no idea
apparently
about that.
bulls
That's
are
crazy.
colorblind. I don't know. They keep it and they keep it tied up in a box for 48 hours, and then like they open the box and the bull runs out and they're in a bullfighting ring. Oh, and it said they didn't elaborate on this, but they said they put a needle in its genitals.
Huh. Yeah, that needs... I mean, need is a complicated word, but that should be more specific.
Yeah, like they should really have gone into that. They also said they rub like caustic chemicals on its legs that make it in so much pain that it can't lie down.
How is bullfighting worse than just murdering an animal for no reason?
Yeah, like you thought the worst part about bullfighting was that they murder a bull in front of crowds of cheering people.
But it's the stuff they do before the crowds get there that's the real problem.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
It's you ever see I saw a picture on Yelp that really bothered me the other day. It was someone took a picture of the sink in a restaurant and it had like a little bit of rust on it. And they go, if this is what they put in front of their customers, imagine what the stuff that the customers can't see looks like. And that guy's a piece of shit, and it's like it's probably way cleaner than this one bathroom sink is. But that should be the idea for bullfighters. Like, wow, if they're showing us that they kill bulls, like what are they doing when we're not watching?
Yeah, it's way worse.
Yeah, it's way worse. So we do a video game podcast.
Video games?
Yeah, video games. I have a premise for the show. Do you want to start before I do the premise? Do you want to start with talking about video games you've been playing, or do you want to do like news and the premise first?
What's the premise?
Well, it's a surprise premise.
Oh, okay. Well, real quick, someone in the chat, Squirrel at War, just throws in another big Phoenix Down moment for some people. That's Alucard.
It's backwards. It's vampire.
Yeah, yeah. Alucard is vampire backwards. Now your mind is blown.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the premise of the podcast one of those things where like once we introduce it, we can't go back and do what you've been playing?
No, it's not.
Well, I guess I'm just too curious. What's the premise of the podcast?
Well, first I have a couple things. I like real quick went and found like 3 really quick things that I thought were interesting enough to talk about, which will then lead into my premise. You ready?
Oh, sorry. I just saw.
Are you seeing what
chat,
I said to Big Mike?
I saw in the chat, Big Mike said, "Am I getting in on this podcast from the ground up?" And you said, "No, Mike. We've been doing this for 10 years."
That's true. It is true.
It's true. We've been. Well, it's been 9. I think it's been 8 years since we started a podcast, and it's been 6.5 years since we started videos.
Dude, we started Run Button in November of 2008.
No, it's 9.
Oh, okay, 9. Okay, almost 9 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Okay.
Premise number 1. I saw this real quick. This is from Kotaku. They were talking about what makes a game perfect for Switch.
Okay.
And I want to talk about it just because I think that they missed like a big part of what makes a game something that people want on Switch. So their premise was, everybody says like, oh, this game would be great on Switch, or I want this game to be on Switch.
Put it on Switch, you cowards.
Put it on Switch, yeah.
That's my new rallying cry. I got that from Retronauts.
They put that that's like, so the premise is everybody says every game would be great on Switch, but what makes the game great for Switch? And they run through really quick with a couple people. It goes like, well, it should be something where you can go in and like do something really quick, something bite-sized where you can accomplish something and then put it down. And then Jason Schreier says, well, that's like the opposite of Zelda, which is the Switch game.
That's not true.
Right, they eventually get there. They eventually go like, okay, well, it's not like Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker where you can literally do like a level in 10 minutes and then put it down, but you can have these small goals and accomplish it and put it down. But anyway, so that's their conclusion is like our original impression was right, and it and Zelda, which seemed to not fit into that category, actually does. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I think that they miss the reason I think people want everything on the Switch is because it is a home console that you plug into your TV that you can also take with you. They're like treating it like it's just a handheld thing. They're treating it like it's a big DS, a big powerful DS.
Yeah, basically you could boil down that article to like, here's what we think makes a good portable game. Like everybody knows that already. Like you just described portable games, but that's the thing about the Switch is there can be Switch games that are good as portable games, and there can be Switch games that are better as home games, but you can do both wherever.
And the thing that makes a good Switch game is a game that makes you go like, I want to relax on the couch and play this game, and I don't want to not have to have it with me. I don't want to like be somewhere where I can't play it. Like that's what makes a good Switch game, right? It's like I like to play this game and I don't want to only be able to play it at home. And I think that's the only thing that it is. I think that's why people want everything on the Switch.
Yeah, they want everything on the Switch because it's both.
It's both.
It's everything.
They didn't bring up that it's a home console, I think, one time in this conversation that I'm reading. Which is crazy because like that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing about it is that it is a thing that you plug into your TV also.
And the thing is, I mean, like games that are good in bite-sized chunks are good as portable games, but that doesn't mean that a game that isn't digestible in small pieces is a bad portable game. Like, it's still fun to play it wherever, and you just hit that sleep button when you're done, buddy.
Totally. That's the other thing I was going to bring up is, like, the sleep button brings a whole new meaning to what can be a portable game. Like, it's not... We are so far away from, like, I can't stop playing Pokemon because I can't save because I'm in a battle. That doesn't exist, and it hasn't existed since the Game Boy SP. Like, you have been able to close your DS since the DS.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I know you probably haven't, but if you've ever recently gone and played a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game, it might hit you at some point like, oh, like, I have to keep this thing on until I'm done.
Until
like,
you're
it's
done.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, you can't. It's wild. Like, if you need to do something real quick, you have to put your Game Boy in your pocket on. In your pocket, just on. Like, that's crazy. No one does that for anything anymore. Yeah. But I think that, like, that...
the one good thing about... I didn't appreciate it at the time because I didn't have, like, a broader knowledge of games. But the thing about Pokemon and other RPGs on the Game Boy that were actually great was that you could save anywhere at any time, unlike most JRPGs where you had to go to save points.
Yeah,
if Pokemon had save points, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah, it would. And it would be. I think it would. That was like a period where a video game being inconvenient to parents and teachers, like, could get it banned from schools, which kind of doesn't happen as much anymore. But like, if Pokemon was exactly the same, but you could only save at save points, I think that, like, I think there were parents that would keep their kids from getting, like, the next Pokemon game. Like, I think that might have happened.
You think they would have been outraged at the irresponsibility?
Well, I'm just, like, thinking of how much arguing I did with my mom when I was a kid of, like, I can't stop playing this right now, I need 5 more minutes. But if I was like, I can't stop playing this right now, I need 25 more minutes, it would have been like a nightmare. I never would have heard the end of it. Do you have anything to add about Switch stuff? Or Pokemon stuff, or whatever? I mean,
if you were in a battle and your mom wanted you to be done, couldn't you just leave the system on? Because it felt normal back then.
Yeah, if I wanted to waste AA batteries.
Yeah.
That's not... we get our shit... it's basically free from the wall now. I mean, it's not. You still have to pay for it.
Yeah,
but
it's not free.
It's not free, but it's like way cheaper than buying a pack of double A's every other week.
Yeah. Though, I mean, when you look at how those systems, how low powered those systems were, and they didn't even have backlights, they did last forever on 2 AA's. It was just that we never stopped playing Pokemon, so we still went through AA's like crazy. But it's crazy to me, like, even though you can't turn the GBA off, which feels crazy, you can turn the backlight off, and then the battery will just last for 24 hours anyway. So it's like you don't even have to turn it off.
That's true. So, you know what? I'm going to even skip this other news story that I have and go right into my premise. You ready?
Okay.
Video game news doesn't exist anymore, and it makes it really hard to do a podcast about video games.
No, yeah. You know when I noticed that?
A while ago, probably.
Every time we try to do a podcast in 2018, I'm like, there's no more game news. It's fucking wild.
I noticed it for the first time. I mean, yeah, I think we probably both noticed it a while back, but it is worse and worse and worse every week. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. It just like it doesn't happen anymore. I mean, you've got stuff on Twitter, and then you've got like Kotaku has a billion things every day, but like it's still not really news.
Kotaku was always fucking bloated with garbage articles, but there used to be real news in between those, and now it's just that.
It's just bloated articles,
I'm going to go to Kotaku right now and read you their top headline, and it's going to be fucking nonsense.
I think I know exactly what it is. It's going to be something I
couldn't even begin to try to care about.
I think I know what it is.
Fuck, okay. GTA Online has an Easter egg you can only find by getting your character drunk.
No, they're the actual most recent thing is Nintendo's next Labo game is all about driving, flying, and swimming.
Fuck, that is almost game news.
That is almost game news.
I'm going by, it was at the top of the page, and it was the first thing I saw. It was GTA Online has an Easter egg you can only find by getting your character drunk, and I feel like that beautifully illustrates my point.
But then the next two things are like an article about microtransaction armor, like not as a specific armor set. Like it's saying like, here's an armor set, not saying microtransaction armor sets are bad. Or having any commentary on it. And then the next thing is new sneakers are inspired by Gundam. Those are the two things after that. Then here's the story from earlier that I almost read and then didn't. Destiny is selling the lore that you can the Grimoire cards. They're selling it as a book. So now if you want to know the story of Destiny, you don't have to read all the weird Grimoire cards anymore. You can go out and buy a book. Which sucks because like I really am curious and interested in the Destiny lore, which is why I don't like the Destiny games very much, because they are really, really intent on me never learning anything about that game.
And none of it's interesting anyways, though, right?
No, some of it's really interesting.
I don't believe you.
It is. But that's the thing. They, like, bury it. They, like, hide it away. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And now they're like, we'll put it in a book. We'll sell it for probably $30. I don't know. It's hardcover. It looks like it's got some decent art in there.
It's like, you used to have to stop playing our game and go into menus to get our story. Now you just don't even have to turn the game on. We made it a book.
Oh, boy. What a fucking weird thing. Anyway, video game news doesn't exist. Here's something that was really funny.
Can I read you another Kotaku headline?
Yeah, of course.
I dated a senior citizen in pub encounter and he licked my leg.
That's video game news. I mean, it's not news, but it is at least a story about video games.
Oh, here's one. What makes a game perfect for Switch? This seems interesting.
Yeah, I think I read that one, I think. What do they say?
Hey, here's an article about Monster Hunter that just has a character that's like identical to my Monster Hunter character and the gear that they wear, and that's weird.
Hyacinth says, I like almost everyone at Kotaku, but 90% of Kotaku stuff is stuff I don't want to read. That's fair. I mean, that's just what they make you. They make you do that. I like a lot of the people that work at Kotaku, with some glaring fucking exceptions.
So I scrolled up to the top of Kotaku, and my eyes went straight to a tab. A full tab they have at the top of their page now is just cosplay.
Yeah.
And then to the left of that is something called Steamed, and to the right of that is Snacktaku.
Yeah, it's like
I forget what Snacktaku is, but it's got to be great.
As far as I can tell, there is no way besides Kotaku.com to like find a list of articles about video games. Like literally, I don't think there is a way to do that. You just have to like scroll on their front page timeline.
Do you want the first headline on Snacktaku?
Sure.
This cheeseburger is not screwing around.
What's not screwing around about it?
I don't know. It looks really weird. Dom Dom Burger, Japan's first fast food hamburger chain, has rolled out a limited edition cheeseburger which features 2 beef patties, onions, tomato, a slice of yellow cheese, and camembert cheese for buns. Camembert? C-A-M-E-M-B-E-R-T.
Camembert?
Anyway.
Camembert?
We should stop talking about
I think I'm guessing it's Camembert.
Oh, okay. That's
my guess.
This burger does not look appetizing. It's a very strange looking burger.
I did see it, and I don't know why the bun is colored like that. I'm going to play. Here. Camembert, yeah. I nailed it.
Camembert.
Are
the Onion and Clickhole owned by Gawker? That's a bummer.
Shut up. Good. I'm talking now.
Okay.
I went on. I was having trouble finding anything interesting to talk about. Here's the thing. There's places that you can go to find, and this happens on Kotaku. It happens on Waypoint. It happens on Polygon, I guess. Or you can find like long form or in-depth articles about games. But that is not something that you can just whip together in a list to talk about for a podcast.
Sure.
You need like facts. like you need like
we need facts here.
We need facts, damn it.
We need hard, fact-based video game journalism.
Yeah, like I can't do a podcast by just telling you what Cameron Kunzelman thought about something. Like that's not a podcast. I guess I can do a podcast by telling you what the 3 people at Kotaku think makes a perfect Switch game, but that's not, that's different from, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see.
A lot of people think Run Button is just about being bad at games and talking about Naruto or whatever.
We're good at games.
But it's actually about ethics in video games journalism.
No. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's about no ethics in video games journalism. Removing ethics from video games journalism.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to read the latest stories from, and again, this is not what Giant Bomb does, so this is unfair, but I do think it's funny, and I think it illustrates something about like where video games are at. Can I read you the latest stories from giantbomb.com/news?
Sure.
Community Spotlight 7/21/18. There are 2 new shirts in the store. Community Spotlight 7/14/18. Community Spotlight 7/7/18. Community Spotlight 6/30/18. Community Spotlight 6/23/18. Community Spotlight 6/16/18. Hey, there are 2 new store items that we're having an E3 sale. E3 2018. What's going on? Community Spotlight 6/02/18. 10th annual E3 banner contest. Community Spotlight 5/26/18. Community Spotlight 5/19/18.
I think we get the picture.
It goes that way until you hit Game of the Year articles.
Until you hit the bottom of the page, and then you have to go to the
next page, and then it's Game of the Year articles, like all the guest articles and stuff, and then presumably just keeps going after that.
But you are right, though. Giant Bomb is kind of explicitly not about video game news, at least not anymore.
No, but to have, I think I'll give them one news story this year is like still surprising, especially because if you go back 2 years, they've got people writing stuff. They had Patrick Klepek writing news stories, and then they had Austin doing the freelancer program, and now they have Community Spotlight.
Wait, Austin was the one that did the freelancer program?
Yeah, that was Austin.
Oh, like Tex and Church and all those robots?
Wyoming and all the robots.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he had a mustache.
Yeah. Someone said, "Isn't the GOG thing news?" I don't know what the GOG thing is. Apparently, Good Old Games accidentally endorsed news? Gamergate.
Oh no!
I don't know what that means, but they've done shitty stuff in the past anyway, so I'm not shocked.
It's better than endorsing Gamergate on purpose.
That is sort of true.
I think it's totally true.
They endorsed it.
I'm just saying it's better.
They might have had, I don't know what their intentions were. I don't know the news story, but I bet a bunch of people that are really into Gamergate saw it and went like, yeah, they're on our side.
Did you? I don't. Oh, well, you listen to the Waypoint podcast now, right? So you would have had to have heard about this anyways. The fucking Gamergate guy who created Kotaku in Action Reddit, who shut it down.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
The thing that surprised me about that, and the only thing that I know about it is what I heard on Waypoint, but the thing that surprised me was that, like, people didn't see through that guy shouldn't get any credit for shutting down his fucking bogus thing.
Oh, you were surprised?
I'm a little bit surprised. I guess I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised by anything anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've actively decided to not let myself be surprised anymore.
That's a good point. You hear about Russ Pitts? This is video game news.
No.
You know Russ Pitts.
Well, I mean, I have heard of Russ Pitts.
Right. You know of Russ Pitts. Russ Pitts was, let's see, I think that he was editor-in-chief of The Escapist.
Yeah, for a second I was thinking of Russ Frushtick, but now I'm thinking of Russ
different
Pitts.
Russ, yeah.
I'm back to Russ Pitts.
I believe that he was editor-in-chief of The Escapist, and then was features editor for Polygon, and then left Polygon, and has just been just a general dipshit online.
Okay.
He's just kind of a piece of shit, idiot, moron. And yeah.
Okay.
And so I guess it was a little bit hard to follow because I was so bored and uninterested in his Medium post about it. But it seemed like what he did was he got someone to buy The Escapist and then hire him as editor-in-chief again. And then about 4 seconds after announcing that happened, was already playing the victim card, because he said that the new site was going to be apolitical, and everybody was like, "You're a fucking idiot. Apolitical doesn't exist. You can't take a site. You can't take a site that was getting a lot of fucking publicity for being like openly pro Gamergate, and then be like, now we're gonna fix it by not having a stance, especially because."
What? I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. The Escapist had like a real far right swing to it for the last few years. Yeah. And so Pitts. Strong Russ. Pitts has been not weirdly, like it makes sense because he's a shithead, but he has been like equivocal about Gamergate in the past, like. A lot of time. It's hard to find the proof of all of this because he deleted all of his tweets because everyone's always fucking mad at him because he sucks so bad. So he doesn't have any tweets left to search. But he's always, he's one of those guys that's just like, well, Gamergate's bad, but ethics in video game journalism should be a good thing. Where it's just like, but that's not the fucking point. Like, that's just...
It was never the point.
It was never the point. And just saying that, like, giving them that, gives cover to the people that are saying that to attack people. Like, that's why people get mad at people who hedge like that. Because it's like...
Yeah.
Like... they might be running a scam, but the premise of the scam is sound.
Right before... the thing was, right before you said that, I was going to make a joke by going like, Keith, Russ just cares about ethics in video games journalism. But then, like, that was actually what you were talking about, and I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah. So this is another... This is the part 2 of my premise. A lot of a lot of podcasts you can't go to a lot of video game podcasts and have someone be like Rush Frushtick is an idiot, dipshit, moron, because video game podcasts are now all or pretty much all like video game, like inside the video game industry, whether it's video game coverage or video game like developers.
I mean,
what's your
There's a lot of
the like all of the ones that have a listener base. Like we don't have a listener base.
Yeah, but weren't they always that? I mean,
were they always that? I feel like I used to listen to shows that didn't have anything to do with anybody, and were just people.
I was raised on podcasts from video game websites.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you always listened to more video game podcasts than I did. But anyway, this is the other part of the like. There's no more news left. Is like the way that we get news is by reading the news that other people say, right? And so it's so much harder to get anything to
Keith,
talk about.
I found a gap in the market.
What's it? What is it?
Video game news. It has to be us. We gotta hit the beat.
But we don't have.
We gotta put feet to pavement.
I don't think
gotta get out there and dig up those stories.
I don't think we want to do that. I don't think either of us want to do that.
We gotta whip out those shovels and get digging.
Well, the reason why it doesn't happen anymore is because no one wanted to do it and no one read it anyway.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't exist anymore. Is because there was no audience for it and everyone that was doing it hated doing it.
And also now like publishers and stuff just have their own blogs and YouTube channels where they post shit.
Right, and they just pay Let's Players to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could get it on that. No, we couldn't. They'd never let us do that.
We actually couldn't. That's like the thing.
Yeah. And it's also wouldn't?
I mean,
wouldn't.
It depends on how much they're paying, honestly.
Yeah, I guess, I have a price, but
if I could make 3 months rent just by playing a video game and starting the video by going, someone paid us to play this video game, I might do it. I would definitely do it.
Anyway, my point is that, it's hard to do this fucking podcast, man.
This video is brought to you by Firefall.
I'm still trying to get Snacks to sponsor the podcast.
Firefall, it's not just a PAX booth anymore.
Is it a game, though?
I think they'd shut down at this point.
It has to be, right?
I'm almost
Was
positive.
there a period in between it not being a PAX booth and it not existing? Did it die when the booth died?
Oh, this should tell you everything you need to know about Firefall. I typed in Firefall into Google, and the first result was Firefall official band website. So
never heard of them.
So the top rating Google result for Firefall is a band called Firefall, and the game is number 3.
Oof.
The band gets a Wikipedia page called Firefall, but the video game gets a Wikipedia page called Firefall video game.
Yeah, great. Sorry, Firefall. Shouldn't have spent all that money having the biggest PAX booth every year.
Yeah, this is everything. The first 2 words of the Wikipedia article, Firefall was.
Oh, man, nailed it. Anyway, my point is it's hard to find video game stories, especially because we don't work in video games. We're just 2 guys.
We're just two guys. trying to make our way through this crazy world.
Trying to make a podcast out of nothing. We have nothing.
I mean,
you can go to contentburger.biz to support the nothing that we have.
I mean, isn't making... Well, I was gonna say the Run Button brand is making something out of nothing, but I think it's actually making nothing out of nothing. That's kind of our signature move.
Yeah. It's, hey, go to youtube.com/runbutton for 1,000 videos of nothing.
Hey, do you want to spend 30 minutes to listen to two white guys get 2 stars in Super Mario 64 and talk about an episode of Doctor Who that you don't want to hear?
Hey, well,
come to youtube.com/runbutton.
The good news is that neither of us watch Doctor Who anymore.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to listen to 2 white guys not like a Silent Hill game? Go to youtube.com/runbutton.
Do you want to watch 2 white guys not like 4 Silent Hill games?
Wait a second. Revise that, please.
3.5 Silent Hill games. Do you want to talk about what you've been playing this week or this month for video games? You got a whole
sure.
Month. Or wait,
no,
let's
2 whole months.
See any movies?
Fuck no.
No movies, not even old movies. How about TV that you liked?
I almost have the opposite of a movie I've seen.
What does that mean? That you made a movie? Is that the opposite of seeing a movie?
There are now so many Marvel movies that I was recently listening to a podcast and someone said something like, "Oh, I just saw blank," or "This weekend I'm going to see blank." And I was like, didn't even know that was a movie.
Was it Ant-Man and Wasp? Was that it?
Yes, it was.
By the way, you're doing like a scratching thing on your mic or something?
Nope.
I'm hearing it, so...
Do you have now?
I was just a second ago. Do you have iPhone headphones on? Do you have headphones with a mic? Do you have headphones with a mic on them?
Yes.
Do you want to touch that? Like just touch it? That's the mic you're using to record.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No.
That ain't right, nerd.
Hey, as long as it's right in Audacity.
That's so weird because input device is definitely set to fucking Inspire. That's some hot, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
As long as it's right in Audacity, then I don't care.
Well, my plan, Keith, we're getting back to what we were playing. My plan was to come in here and be like, I have to apologize a little bit for what I said about Hollow Knight on the last podcast, but you'd never released that podcast, so no one heard me say that I wasn't liking Hollow Knight.
And now you're liking it?
Yeah, I'm liking it a bit more. I listened to some podcasts and people were comparing it to Dark Souls.
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. But that at least got me in the space where it kind of like recontextualized it for me, where it's like, okay, maybe I need to like approach this game differently. Like I have to think of it as a Dark Souls like, it's that kind of thing. Because I'm used to a Metroidvania. Traditionally, Metroidvanias are kind of like an easy genre. It's sort of, the idea is sort of like, oh, like the moment-to-moment gameplay is not that hard. You kind of just blow through enemies, and it's more about exploration. And I was kind of like, okay, Hollow Knight like wants to challenge me, I guess. And that I liked it a little bit more after that.
That's good. I'm glad.
I haven't played it in like a month. But it was good. It was.
Hold on a second. I have to interrupt you to yell at the chat.
Okay.
This has happened a couple times. They're talking about
fucking lay it on them, Keith.
They're talking about like, oh, they're not paying attention to the chat, like it's some big fucking deal. We're having a conversation. Yeah. We can't just be reading the chat and having a conversation. We don't have a producer here, man.
It's
We're
true.
We're just two guys.
See, here's what's going to happen is if I'm reading the chat, I'm going to stop listening to what Keith is saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to interrupt him to just read out things people are saying in the chat.
See? Isn't this super disruptive? That's what me reading the chat gets you. This is disruptive now.
You guys should get a third white guy just to read the chat.
We're not paying some idiot just to read the chat.
Yeah.
We're the stars of the show.
You came here for this.
You came here for this, not you. Well, you came here for that, for like what we were doing a minute ago, not for this.
Fucking okay. Let's get back to video games. It occurred to me it was weird that I brought up Hollow Knight just to say it's pretty good. I haven't played it in a month, but that was I thought I had to bring it up because
of the podcast that we recorded that I didn't release.
Yeah, because I had to correct myself from the past.
Yeah,
but technically it wasn't needed anymore.
You didn't hear this, but Kyle did say that Hollow Knight sucked. But now he's saying it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, so you've almost been playing Hollow Knight. Anything else?
I've almost been playing Hollow Knight. Yeah, I've been... I think I talked about this on our recent podcast. I was really switched off of like challenging classic games. Like I was thinking about a lot of the NES games that I had played through that were really hard and bad, and I was just like, I can't even imagine doing that now. Like, how did I even... Like, I'm so far away from that. I can't even imagine playing one of those old, stupid games.
Wait, sorry. Far away from playing some of one old games?
Just, just like old hard games.
Are you doing Andy? Are you doing an Andy?
It was more like it was more just like reflecting on games that I had played through and almost being like confused at how I ever found interest enough to do that. I was like, why did I play through Final Fantasy 1 on the NES? That was a really weird thing to do.
It was a weird thing to do. At least when I played through Final Fantasy 1 or 2, it was on my phone.
Yeah, that version's for babies. Fixed the game and made it playable.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, loser.
It feels like I got a pretty good time out of it.
You probably didn't have to have one character in your party that was literally useless for 95% of the game.
No, I didn't, I don't think.
And you know that character for me?
Yeah.
It was named Keith.
Was it really?
Was dead weight on my party. Because it was that time we started it on a stream and it was like me and you and some other people, and so we all got one character named after ourselves, and you wanted to be a thief, but what you didn't know at the time was that thief is literally a useless class that is not better at anything than any other class.
What? Why would they make a game like that?
I don't know. Yeah, if I was going to play Final Fantasy again... First my party was fighter, thief, white mage, black mage. But if I was going to do it again, it would be fighter, 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 white mage. Because fighters are unstoppable gods in the NES version of Final Fantasy 1.
You said that the thief was useless for 95% of the game. That last 5% though, pretty fucking hot, or what?
It wasn't bad. The last 5%, the thief evolves into a ninja, and that's when shit gets real. Oh, not even the thief
anymore.
No, yeah. So thief was literally useless, but thief becomes something that's less useless.
So what you're saying is like, listen, guys, I know that we just spent the last 60 hours, and I've been kind of fucking everything up, getting in the way, and I know how to get better. I'm just going to be someone else. I'm just going to be a different guy.
You burst out into a full rendition of I'm a Ninja by D. Antwoord.
You're talking about the cult hit South African rap group?
The very same. They have a song called I'm a Ninja.
They do.
And it's...
Here's my fun fact weird. About that group is that when
I'm not sure
school,
I want to know anything about
No. It's just a very me thing, I think. When I was in high school, all my friends found that band and were like trying to show me and like, oh, look at this band, they're fucking crazy and weird. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I know these guys from a video series of a South African guy that drives a cab and has different bands from South Africa play in his cab while he drives around.
Would they play in the cab?
They play. Well, Deanne were just sang or rapped and sang. But if they had guitars, they would have played guitars in the cab. It was called Taxi Jam. The monkey paw curse of Taxi Jam is that the theme song to Taxi Jam is better than any of the songs actually performed on Taxi Jam.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, do you think they're ever going to have the band that did the Taxi Jam theme song on Taxi Jam?
Oh, wow. That would be great. They could play their hit song Taxi Jam. Taxi, taxi jam, taxi, taxi jam.
Is that really how it goes?
Taxi jam. Yeah, that's how it goes.
No.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes. It's great. I mean, it's like, professional singers, and they're also playing instruments. But it's good. I'll drop it in the pod.
Taxi jam, taxi, 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 taxi jam, woohoo. Taxi jam.
All right, there you go. That was it.
Anyways, I've been spending all of my free game time the past few weeks playing old Castlevania games. I finished Castlevania 3, and I finished Castlevania 4, and now I'm trying to finish Rondo of Blood. And
Rondo of Blood is the best named one.
It's fun. It's fun. It's okay. There's a lot of complex emotions
about
when
Rondo
it comes
of Blood
to
specifically,
playing
or
about Castlevania 3, 4, and Rondo of Blood. Because those games are so hard, and I play them.
Didn't you just say that they weren't that hard and you could just blow through enemies and it was mostly about exploration?
No, well, those are the Metroidvania Castlevania games, the later ones.
Oh, not the Castlevania.
I'm playing the linear action platformer Castlevanias.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Castlevania 3 literally got to a point where it was like saying that I wasn't having fun was like an understatement. But I've just been trying to beat that game for so many years. I was like, I have to do this. I gotta fight. That game's so hard. And the thing was that when they brought it over from Japan, they made it harder, supposedly to combat the rental market. Because renting games was illegal in Japan, and so Japanese game companies were like really bent out of shape that everyone in America was renting games all the time.
Yeah.
So
I can see how that might tick them off.
If you make your game harder, people are just gonna have to rent it more times. They're not gonna be like, oh, this game's so hard, I have to go buy it.
Yeah. Imagine being like, this game, so I can barely play this game at all. I'm gonna spend the extra money on it.
Oh, Seti says Aria of Sorrow is so good. You're right, Seti. That's another game I'm playing. I play that on my Wii U. But anyways,
while we're talking about the chat, I have to talk. Jackson ESP 100 is like dying for attention. It's driving me crazy. He says Jackson was the person who was like, "Why aren't they talking to us?" And then was like, "I'm happy we've been acknowledged." And then was like, is anybody even listening to these guys? And then it was like, I'm going to try to listen to them. You can just go, or I could like kick you out. Like, would that be easier for you? Or do you just want me to go back to ignoring you?
Well, they also said they played the PSP one, that's Rondo of Blood, but like a 3D easier version.
Yeah, easy Rondo of Blood, but easy.
There was a remake of Rondo of Blood on PSP, and it was 3D, and it was easier. And they played it.
The reason, I mean, it's obvious, but the reason that Rondo of Blood is so good is because all of the named Castlevania games are like a type of music and then like a horror thing. But no one fucking knows what a Rondo is, and Of Blood is like the laziest of the horror things, and so it's just such a funny sound to me.
I just recently I got to a part in Rondo of Blood. There's like 3 cutscenes in the whole game, and I got to one on the last level where he's like, "Oh, I'm good because I have the blood of vampire hunters coursing through me. And then he was like, I have to fight Dracula because his blood is calling to me. And I was like, man, they really tried to tie blood into this game story. I don't know how Dracula's blood calls you, but
how did they work the night into Symphony of the Night?
It's nighttime.
Oh, it just is nighttime?
Yeah.
And they weren't satisfied.
The Japanese title was Sonata in the Moonlight, which is not as good.
I like it as like a different game. Like if a different game was called Sonata in the Moonlight, I think that would be
sure.
good.
Okay, yeah. Like if there was a game called Sonata in the Moonlight, I'd be like, great title, but when the alternative is Symphony of the Night, it's like
what?
The winner is clear.
If they Symphony in the Moonlight is, I think, better than both of them. I think they got to split the difference. Because Symphony is better than Sonata, but In the Moonlight is better than Of the Night. It's too long. No, you're right. Symphony of the Night is better.
See, because In the Moonlight is just like, you're in the moonlight. It's like there's light from the moon and you're in it. Okay. But Of the Night, it's like the night can represent so many things. There's
true.
Dangerous things in the night, Keith.
Yeah, like vampires.
Things that go bump in the night. There's vampires.
There's Draculas.
There's mummies. There's Frankensteins.
Skeletons.
There's Grim Reapers.
There's bats. Demons.
There's a lot of bats. There's skeletons.
Eyeballs, floating eyeballs.
Oh yeah, there's floating eyeballs in there for sure. Suits of armor.
What do you got? Any regular people, but just violent?
Violent people?
Just regular violent people, like mortal violent people?
I mean, you kind of like you kind of play as a violent person. You go around hitting things a lot.
Yeah, but you're not really immortal, right?
No.
Yeah.
You're not immortal. You are mortal. That's why you die all the time.
No. Sorry, I mean you're not a mortal. You're not immortal.
In most Castlevania games, you play as a mortal person.
How about Symphony of the Night?
Symphony of the Night, you play as a Dracula.
Yeah, see, there you go. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alucard
is actually immortal backwards.
Funny joke by itself. Good callback, too. That was a double.
Nice.
Double. Off the wall. Baseball. Off the baseball wall.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle.
Wall ball up
have
in
you
here.
been playing other video games, or is it my turn to talk?
No, I've just been playing a lot of Castlevania. I've also been spending all my time... I got way back into watching Giant Bomb videos, so I've been going through their backlog, and I've been watching Vinny play all the Castlevania games also.
Oh, so you've just been living Castlevania.
Kind of, like on and off, yeah. Sometimes I'll play Castlevania and I'll watch Vinny play Castlevania at the same time, but then sometimes I'm like, yo, I need a break from this Castlevania, so I'll watch them hate Mario Party.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun break.
It is a fun break. I only have one more Mario Party left. I didn't know this. So, like, in their series, their thing is they always play Mario Party, and they do a 50 turn game, the highest turns that you can do.
Yeah.
So all those videos are like, they start out like 3 hours long, and then by like Mario Party 8, a 50 turn game was 4.5 hours long. But then I didn't know this. Mario Party 9 and 10, they do away with that completely, and they only give you, instead of like a game board where you're constantly moving around it in a loop, they give you a game board that's just like a point A to point B track, and you can finish it in 45 minutes.
Oh, wow. But what if you want to spend 4.5 hours playing?
You have to play it 10 times in a row.
Did they do that?
No.
No, they just did it once.
Like, it's so funny. Like, I think those videos must have been really popular because they kept making them, but like I've literally never seen the Giant Bomb guys so unhappy and like so fucking miserable like all the time.
Yeah, man, and people are brutal. All they want is for the people they watch to be having a bad time.
Yeah. They did one in front of a live crowd that was a lot of fun. And the thing was, like, the whole crowd is like, so the theme of the series is always that, like, Dan likes Mario Party and he's always really happy to be playing it, and the rest of them are just completely miserable. And so the crowd is just always cheering for Dan to lose. And so anytime something bad happens to him, they're all cheering. And he's like, wait a minute, am I a Mario Party heel? And it was like he just completely missed like the entire premise of his own video series. Yeah. He's like, wait a minute. Do people not want me to win this?
He got Phoenix down by his own show. What I don't understand, why would he be the heel if he's the only one enjoying it?
I think because the audience is on the audience is like, yeah, Mario Party's bad and Dan's bad for liking Mario Party.
Yeah, but isn't it, I feel like it's frustrating for everybody for one person to like a game and everybody else hates it and doesn't want to be doing it. So I think that would make Dan the hero of the series because he's contributing to the misfortune, which is what they want to watch.
So I'm on his side for those videos. Like I think he has the right idea, but apparently not many other people do.
That's fine. They can watch it however they want, I guess.
But it's just really funny because he's so into the idea of like every 6 months they play Mario Party for 4.5 hours straight. And he's like, oh man, when we get to Mario Party 9, I hear it's only like 45 minutes. So we got to play like 5 games or something. And they're like the other guys, when he says stuff like that, they almost get like violent. They're like, you're a fucking lunatic.
He's right. They have to do 50 turns. They have to do 50 turns. Even if they're playing a game that's less than 50 turns, they have to play multiple games to equal at least 50 turns.
It is wild though when you look at it, like how wrong Mario Party got the idea of party games for so long. Because it's like, oh man, how do people want to have a party? They want to play a 3-hour board game, right? Like, no, that's the opposite of like a casual video game party. Like, what are you doing?
Sorry, hold on. I got a text I have to respond to.
Onani Master says Drew was the hero. I don't know, man. Like, I love Drew, but I've never seen Drew so mean. Mario Party really brings out the worst in Drew.
Okay, sorry. I helped set up someone's Wi-Fi, and they forgot the password to their Wi-Fi.
So you might be interested in this though.
Okay.
Giant Bomb East just recently did a video called Fusion Frenzy, where they just went through the list of mini games in Fusion Frenzy and played like all 50 of them.
Oh, that sucks. I've been wanting to do that for so long.
They didn't play the actual game part of it. I don't remember what it is. It's called Tournament.
There isn't a game part. It's just random mini games until the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember there being like a game.
Well, there's one extra stage, and it's like the bonus. It's like the
okay.
It's like, yeah, there's like one mini game that's just in the tournament mode, I think, and it's you go around and punch people and collect an orb.
Okay. I'll say, looking at the Fusion Frenzy games after seeing so much Mario Party, they didn't look awesome, but they were all really down on it, and even Dan was like, is this what happens? Is this what it feels like to play Mario Party when you don't have nostalgia for it? I hate this. Like, is this what I've been doing to everyone else? But the one thing I'll say about those mini games is they never complained that the winner was just completely random and there was no skill involved, which was like the most common complaint that they had about Mario Party.
Yeah, yeah.
So
no, the Fusion Frenzy mini games when I was like 12, I thought they were mostly pretty fun, and it was never like unfair. It was always like, well, everyone played the game and I won, and so I won.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Fusion Frenzy and it was like, okay, this isn't charming, and it just has this insane, like, industrial extreme sports vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like this very simple, childish game, but, like, it is very, like, original Xbox, super cool, extreme.
It is the most original Xbox game.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, maybe not the most. I mean, we're talking about a system that had brute force and blood wake, so there was a lot of original Xbox happening around that launch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fusion Frenzy's probably totally fine.
Yeah, it seemed fine. Yeah.
I have been wanting to do not go through all the mini games, but just like play it for a really long time.
Yeah,
so we should
play that at some point.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait for that series to not be new.
We can't just not... I don't think there's only 2 Fusion Frenzies, so even if they play the second one, there's only one more.
Yeah. I've got video games, unless you've got another one.
Let me think real quick if I have any more video game.
Can you stop moving your fucking mic around your shirt? It's driving me crazy.
I'm not even thinking about it. I guess that's it.
Okay. Well, I'll start with one that I think that you said that you had something to say about it. I have been playing No Man's Sky next.
Oh. Well, I thought you maybe hadn't played it yet, because I haven't played it, so I was going to be like, well, I guess all we'll really have to say about that is that it exists.
I have been playing it. I put No Man's Sky on my top 10 list for the year it came out in. I really like it. One of the few vanilla No Man's Sky likers in the world. No Man's Sky next came out.
He's the fucking shill for Hello Games.
Well, here's the thing. It got a second wind. People are enjoying No Man's Sky next. And I have to say, it is exactly the same fucking game. You all got tricked. You all like the game that you said that you hated 2 years ago. Sorry that you're a dupe, but you're a fucking dupe. That's the same game, man. You're playing the same fucking game that's always existed. It looks a little bit better. You can play it with your friends. You can make a base, and the base stuff is really fun. But boy, that is the same game. I cannot imagine in a million years not liking old No Man's Sky and really liking this one.
All right, shit. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt for a chat thing.
Okay.
It's just really funny to me, because on the Fusion Frenzy video on Giant Bomb, Vinny came in and said, I played Fusion Frenzy years ago. I literally don't remember anything about it except that the one minigame I liked was the one where you duck and jump. The whole time I'm like waiting, like I'm looking for like where's the duck and jump game, and I just like that Demonic Vangel says, my favorite Fusion Frenzy minigame was always the one where you jump or duck.
That's it.
I just like that everyone just remembers that jump or duck game. Like, there was a game where you either jumped or ducked, and it was good.
I really liked... There was a couple rhythm game ones that I always really liked.
Yeah, there were a few...
There's 2 or 3 rhythm games.
Of those, yeah, where it's... The most interesting version of that is the one where one person makes up the notes, and then everyone else has to copy them to progress. That it looked pretty cool.
I always liked those for a lot of reasons, but Fusion Frenzy was one of the games that my sister would want to play with me when we were kids, and those ones were always fun because she couldn't do it at all. She would get just everything wrong, and I would get like all of them. And so she would get so angry, and then I would just be like, if you don't want to play, you don't have to play.
Hey man, you can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
Have you heard anything about No Man's Sky Next? What's your thoughts on it, having not played it yet?
I think it sounds interesting. I mean, I think I've been looking for a reason to revisit No Man's Sky, and like the base building, it's like maybe just enough to get me interested, because like the base building thing didn't really excite me, and neither does multiplayer. Like more interesting story sounds cool.
There's a ship in there. I haven't done any of the story stuff, or I guess the story Vanilla No Man's Sky had like a very, very loose. I guess they had the implication of a story more than a story.
There was some kind of story resembling thing in the origin't and then they did Atlas Rising, which was supposed to be like, hey, we put in the story, and then aren't they on a third thing? Didn't they redo the story again?
I don't know the specifics on that. Next is, I think, the third big update. So I'm pretty sure there was 3 big updates, including Next. One of them was Atlas Rises. I have not done any of that stuff. I have only messed around with the. I haven't gotten very far. I played let's call it 4 hours maybe of Next since it launched on Tuesday, I think. And so I haven't seen much of the story stuff, but it looks a little bit better, and I've built a few things, and I know that at some point I can get a ship and be a man on a ship. I think I saw another player, or there was a waypoint that was like, there's someone over there, and I don't know if it was like you can move over to this other person's instance if you go over there, or if there was actually a person there. But I did see like a gamer tag or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't love No Man's Sky when it came out, but it did get a bad rap for some things. I want to clear something up, because Demonic Angel in the chat says, the one thing that turned me off of No Man's Sky was the whole app aspect where there was a timer. It just seemed like wait a few hours or a few seconds if you have the fuel. And I think what they're talking about is like when you would go to fly somewhere in No Man's Sky, it would give you a timer of how long it would take. And immediately people were complaining that they were like, this planet is 10 hours away. How am I supposed to get there? But the thing about it was just that if it was going to take you more than 2 minutes to fly somewhere, you weren't supposed to fly there until you got a better ship. Like that was the whole idea.
And
like
also
you weren't actually supposed to fly anywhere that was an hour away. You were supposed to see that it was going to take you an hour and then not do it.
Well, and then the other thing is that when you're in the ship, you've got 4 different speeds, right? You've got like forward, like just regular thrusters, and then you've got maybe it's 3. So you can just hold W to go forward, and then shift puts you in like a thruster mode, and then spacebar puts you into like a super fast mode, and like something that would take you 15 hours with shift will take you like a minute with the spacebar. And then on top of that, you've got like hyperspace travel, jumping from galaxy to galaxy, and that takes like a whole different kind of fuel. So it's like things don't actually ever take you that long to get somewhere. And I don't think it's hiding any loads, because it loads when you start to hit the atmosphere of the planet. Like you can see stuff loading in.
Yeah, it kind of loads dynamically,
I just think like the whole idea of the game is like you're in space. Like you've got to
they were just
from here. You've got to get from one place to another place, and the only way to do that is by flying through big empty space, because that's space. I literally don't even think they're hiding loading times there.
Yeah, I kind of appreciated the way that they did space flight in that game, because I I really don't think it was ever that cumbersome to fly from place to place, but it did feel like it gave like the galaxy a sense of, I don't know, size or something.
Yeah. I think that there is space for people who didn't like No Man's Sky to try it again. But I really don't think that if you didn't there's two types of people that didn't like No Man's Sky. There's people that didn't like No Man's Sky because they thought that they were being tricked by Sean Murray specifically. And then there's people who played it and just didn't like it. I always think that trying a game again is like a nice thing, and even if you didn't like a game for whatever reason, like, hey, maybe, it's been a little while, try it again, see if you like it. But the game is just the same game. Like, I don't think that anybody that was just like, I don't like running around planets, taking pictures, and shooting a laser at a rock, I don't think that's fun. Then you will still not like this game. That is what this game just is.
But I hear the rocks look a little bit better now, though. Like, maybe if you played No Man's Sky and you were like, this game's all right, but I feel like for me to stick around, this rock would have to look like 10% better, and I'd have to see about 25% farther.
Yeah, and there has to be I need a handful of more variation in the creatures. Just a little bit more variation in the creatures.
I need to be able to have an Xbox logo for a head.
I'm glad that they added the third-person thing, but I'm playing on... I don't know how to switch back. It doesn't say it anywhere how to switch back. I guess.
Oh, you can't switch back.
You cannot be in first-person mode? It's always third-person?
Yeah, it's permanent.
No, it's not. That's not true.
Yeah, no, it's you start in first-person mode, and you can play for as long as you want in that mode, but if you want to see yourself in third person, then it's permanent.
Okay, Kyle's lying. I do just want to reiterate about space travel. If it's taking you more than like a minute to get from one planet to another, don't go there. You don't have enough because it either takes a minute. Okay, I'll be generous to the game. It either takes like 2 minutes or less, or it takes like 30 hours. And don't fly somewhere if it's gonna take 30 hours. Don't do it. I promise it's not gonna be good for you.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
You called me a liar. And this person, if they are a person, named Ice Cream Jones in the chat, is saying the camera switches in the utility menu, press down on the D-pad. Like, you're a fucking asshole for calling me a liar. And now Ice Cream Jones in the chat lying again. They're the real liar. I'm not here to take this bullshit.
I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, so I'll have to find a different way to do it.
You have to plug in a controller.
Oh, I had to plug in a controller?
Yeah, you have to plug in a controller and you can hit down on the D-pad.
Oh, that's why I couldn't... Okay, so X brings up the quick menu. I didn't realize it was in the quick menu. Okay, that makes sense. Especially because at the beginning of the game, they made me answer a phone call, and they were like, press X to answer a phone call, and I would press X, and it was just my quick menu. And I was just like, this is my quick menu. This isn't answering a phone call, but then answering the phone call was one of the items in the quick menu, so...
Has there ever been a game with a sentient menu?
No, never.
There ever been a game that's like, hey, I'm the options menu?
Actually, yes. It's Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Pokemon Sun and Moon, which, by the way, one of the other games I've been playing, Pokemon Sun and Moon. It just Sun.
What?
Yeah, so when that game came out 2 years ago, I played 10 hours? That
minutes.
Even sounds long. I played a little bit of it.
10 hours is a little bit of a Pokemon game.
That's true, yeah. So it was probably around 10 hours. And I just stopped. And it was weird because it was I liked X and Y. I beat them. I've beat almost every Pokemon game that's ever come out. And I played the game and I was like, this is really fun. This is a lot better than X and Y, which I had some real problems with. I like that they've sort of tried. They pretended that they switched up the gym structure. They didn't, but they pretended that they did, which is nice. They got rid of HMs, which is an interesting idea. Now you use Ubers to use HMs. All your HMs are Ubers now, and that's a fun idea. So that you don't have to. Oh
man, the gig economy creeping its way into Pokemon.
I know. If you haven't played Pokemon Sun and Moon, or if you haven't played Pokemon in general,
Obama.
In order to do something like break through a rock or fly from one town to another, you had to teach a Pokemon an undeletable move that could do this very specific function, and often the moves sucked a lot of the time.
And what blows my mind is that the HMs were reusable, so there's no reason to make the move unerasable.
Yeah, and for a very long time, the other moves, the moves that could be deleted and replaced with other moves, those were single use for 12 years of the Pokemon life of the Pokemon franchise for so long
or more. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so now instead of teaching these shitty moves to your Pokemon that can never be deleted, unless you find a special man in the last town in the game.
Onani Master just reminded me that stab damage is a thing.
What is stab damage?
Stab damage. That's same type attack bonus.
Oh yeah, no. Surf and Fly were the two good ones. Surf and Fly were pretty good. We're good. Strength was okay, and then everything else sucked. And they kept adding more. They added Waterfall, and I think Dive was an HM for one game until they made it a TM. Anyway, gross, terrible. Pokemon games are the best games that also suck.
I think sometime in the last year, I was like, I'm going to go back and play Pokemon Moon because I bought that game and basically never played it. And I think I got to the first battle and remembered how slow Pokemon was. And I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this, man. I might just be out on Pokemon or something.
No, well, try it again because I felt that way 2 years ago when I played Sun and I went back into it and I fell fucking head first. I'm really liking it. Anyway, so now instead of teaching those moves, you have a pager and you can call Charizard to come pick you up and take you someplace. Just not your Charizard, a Charizard.
Well, it can't be a pager because you can't call people with a pager.
No, it's so I don't know how this works. Maybe you press the pager button and it calls the Charizard cell phone, and then an automated voice says, "This guy needs a ride."
Is it really a pager?
It literally is called Ride Pager. Yeah. And then there's
because you're paging Charizard.
I'm paging Charizard.
You don't page with a pager.
And not just Charizard. Tauros and Mudsdale and Herdier.
I just fucking realized.
And Lapras.
I just fucking realized it's called a pager, something that pages, but pagers don't page. They can only be paged. Should be called a pageable. Wake the fuck up, people. Your eyes have been closed for too long. Pagers can't page. Wake the fuck up.
Pagers can't. It's a pageable now. Hey, guess what? Take out your pager and write on it.
Everybody get your pagers out.
Everybody take your pagers out. Pageable. This is pageable. Okay. Pokemon Sun and Moon, good. Just got an Electabuzz, one of my very, very early favorite Pokemon.
I've heard of that Pokemon
Electabuzz?
before.
Who's your favorite Pokemon right now?
Right now?
And second question, have you ever had a favorite Pokemon from a generation after Pokemon Red and Blue?
Fuck no. Come on.
I have had so many favorite Pokemon, and none of them have ever been. And I love a couple of, I love Gold and Silver like I love Red and Blue, almost. Very, 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 very close. And then there's, I've played and liked every Pokemon game since, and I have never, Eevee's been my favorite, Nidoking has been my favorite, Dragonite is my current favorite, Jolteon has been my favorite, Arcanine has been my favorite, never from any other generation.
Seti has a pressing question. Keith, very important question. See, I told you. Where do you land on Poplio?
I'm not here to sink anybody's floating boat.
I have to Google Poplio real quick.
Poplio's a little clown seal.
Oh, right.
And I am not I will say this. Poplio is my least favorite starter from that generation.
I mean, Litten is pretty lame, but it's called Litten, so...
Litten, lame kitten. Yeah, that's what it's for. And then, so...
Oh, didn't we say Litten was shittin'?
Litten was shit. Yeah, well, he is shitting. I like Litten. As soon as I actually saw Litten as a character that was moving and doing stuff, I was like, oh no, Litten's actually really cute. And then right now I have a Torracat who I think is very cute and also cool. Torracat is the second evolution.
Cute and also cool.
Yeah, cute and cool, which is rare. Although Incineroar, the third evolution, is
Incineroar is cool but rude.
Yeah, not cute. And I also think is cool but also maybe lame. It's I was
Wait, cool but lame.
You're a cat and then you're a cat and then it's now I'm a fire wrestler with a cat head.
What the fuck? What is the name of this thing?
Incineroar.
Okay, Okay, all right. I was like, how am I gonna type this out? I don't even know how to spell that. I typed in INC and Google was like, Incineroar? I'm like, all right, Jesus Christ.
By the way, his you know how Pikachu's the mouse Pokemon? Incineroar is the heal Pokemon, which I think is pretty funny.
Oh my God, Incineroar is fucking terrible.
Yeah, well, look at Torracat though.
So
Torracat
bad.
is pretty good.
How do you spell that?
Torracat.
Torracat is how you... Okay.
Yeah, cat.
Torracat's not bad.
Torracat's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so those are the starters. Anyway, I don't like the final Rowlet evolution, which sucks because Rowlet is my favorite of the three starters.
The final evolutions of the starters have been terrible since Ruby and Sapphire.
Pretty much agreed.
Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, those all had good final evolutions. The rest have all been terrible.
The problem is Pokemon designs are a little bit overdone. They are not. They are. Oftentimes they're doing too much. Just calm it down. And we've talked about this. We've talked about this 100 million times. They put all of their best, all of their most senior designers on doing the legendary Pokemon, and they give the new designers the starters. And so then you have this problem where now the starters are over designed because they're new hires, and then the legendaries are over designed because I think they're doing it on purpose. I don't know what the I don't really know what the problem is there.
You got a problem here, Keith.
What's up?
I just checked out the final evolution for Rowlet.
Yeah.
And I think it's not bad.
Oh, you like it? I don't like it. I don't like because it's this
it's
little...
not... It's not amazing, but considering what some of the other final evolutions for Pokemon starters have been, it's not bad. It's a owl wearing a cloak.
Someone in the chat, I'm not there anymore. Someone in the chat said that Generation 4 starters all crushed it. I agree, except for I don't love Infernape, but I like Empoleon and Torterra. Torterra, I think, is great. Very cool. Very good take on literally Venusaur.
Okay, I'm looking at Infernape. That fucking sucks.
Yep.
Torterra.
Yeah, very good take on Venusaur. It's just a Venusaur.
Yeah,
again.
that's a pretty good Venusaur.
Yeah, good take on a Venusaur. And then Empoleon is the water one. If you want to look at that one. Empoleon. It's an emperor penguin. Empoleon. There you go. You're getting there.
Yeah, I've never liked that guy. He sucks.
All right. That's fine. That's you.
I don't know. He's just... Okay. You know what? I'm looking at him and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right? Not as bad as you might expect from, what was that? Was that Pearl and Diamond and Pearl?
I believe that is yes.
So
Piplup.
Piplup.
Yeah, been Piplup.
Piplup.
I got a thing we could talk about.
Okay, it's 10:30, so you said you had to go soon.
Yeah, I think we should be wrapping this up soon. But did you hear about the Aliens Colonial Marines thing?
Yeah, I did.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Hey guys, if you're listening, look it up. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess it does. It's one of those things that would really, you would have to not know about it so that I could explain it to you to make it really work. But I guess.
Well, you could explain it to an imaginary audience member.
Okay, here's a thing about Aliens. So Aliens Colonial Marines is a well-known game with the Aliens movie license made by Gearbox. And it's well known because it was fucking terrible.
Well, I want to add a little twist. I want to add a little twist of lime to your drink there. It was well known for being terrible, especially so after people demoed it and sort of liked it and thought it was maybe going to be cool and good.
They thought it was cool, but it was actually rude.
But it was actually bad. And I think because of this story, when people played it before it was out, it probably was pretty good. At the time.
I can't. It was so long ago. It's so hard to remember how that whole saga went down. But I do remember a big part of it was fucking... Same thing with Duke Nukem Forever. It's fucking Randy Pitchford out there doing interviews being like, can you fucking believe we made this kick-ass game? And then it was just like a fucking garbage fire. It was like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, no, Gearbox sucks. Yeah, Gearbox is terrible. All of those games are bad, except for maybe Borderlands 1.
Yeah, Borderlands 1 is totally good. Also, they made those Half-Life expansions, and those were good.
No comment.
So, fucking... Okay, Aliens Colonial Marines, it was terrible. One of the worst things about it was the AI, where aliens were supposed to, like, you know, move around and take cover and flank you. But, like, mostly they would just kind of stand there and maybe walk around, and then you would kill them. And I guess there's some modding community for this game where they're trying to fix it and improve it. And someone was looking... It was explained to me as looking through the code, and my first thought was like, how did they get the source code to Aliens Colonial Marines? But it's not in the source code. It's just in a text file, a freely editable text file in the install directory. There's a line of code that says, what was it, tether pawn to something, or attach pawn to tether, something like that.
I think that was it.
It was supposed to like control some aspect of the enemy AI, and just someone misspelled the word tether. They spelled it like Heather with an A, which is not in the word tether, and so it broke that part of the code. And supposedly, just deleting that A fixes some aspect of the enemy AI. I've heard people say it's a night and day difference. I've heard other people say it's virtually the same, so the jury's kind of out on how much it does. But
the thing that I heard is that it made the enemy like notice you and want to get you.
Yeah, so
which
I
sounds
think,
big to me.
Yeah, it's the way it's explained to me. I don't see how it could not have an impact on it. It's one of those things where the game's so bad and broken that sometimes it's hard to tell what is working and what's not working.
Yeah, my impression is that it's like probably a lot of people that haven't played it who are speculating, and then a lot of people who are not explaining well enough that like the game still sucks in other ways. That's my impression of it that I got.
Yeah, so I think what it was, this line of code had to do with it was basically anything to do with the enemy interacting with your position. So like they are supposed to flank you, or they're supposed to chase after you, or something like that. And I guess because it was misspelled in that INI file, anytime the game would try to hit that, just nothing would happen. So the enemies would just kind of wander around and not pay attention to you. And like the thing is, though, it's so wild that such a small mistake can have such big consequences. But I really want to know like what the story was there. Like, how long was this broken? When did it break? Like, was this one of those things where like 2 days before the game came out, someone was like, why is the AI not working? It was working before, now it's not working. Who broke this? Who broke it and how did they break it? And we need to fix it. And they went crazy for 48 hours trying to figure out why their AI was busted, and they couldn't. And then they had to ship the game. Or like, was the game always so broken all throughout development that no one ever even got around to realizing that this specific aspect of the AI was not working right? Like, I just need to know what happened. It's so interesting.
Someone in the chat, when we were talking shit about Gearbox. Someone said, "We Happy Few is made by them. No wonder my heart keeps breaking every time I hear news about it." We Happy Few is published by Gearbox.
Yeah. Okay.
It was developed by Compulsion. So, just to. If you're hearing bad news about We Happy Few and it turns out that it sucks and the AI is broken, it's probably not because of someone at Gearbox. But who knows? Randy Pitchford gets around.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Bye.
It doesn't mean anything.
Show's over.
There's...
Is there something more you wanted to say?
I don't know. I hate it because it's one of those things where like... I'll not constantly, but like every once in a while, I'll think of something and I'll be like, I got to bring that up the next time we do a podcast. And then when we go to do a podcast, I can never remember any of them. Oh, okay. There is one thing I wanted to tell you about. Maybe we can close out on this. You remember the Old Country Buffet Twitter account?
Oh, yeah. You mean one of my loyal followers?
Or they follow you?
Yeah, they do. They still follow me.
Oh, man.
At OC Restaurant follows me on Twitter.
OC Restaurant.
OC Restaurant, yeah.
All right, let me...
Oh, do you think it's OCB Restaurant?
No.
No? Yeah, you're probably right.
No, it's a restaurant. Because they're pro-mother... And you're allowed to breastfeed in the restaurants. That's why
they've been doing really well on Twitter. When I followed them, they only had 26 followers. Now they've got 214. So,
oh my gosh!
So what was your thing? What was your thing about
Buffet? So I wanted to check in on them because I thought about them and I was like, how are those guys doing? Shit, I can't find this thing. Did you ever find the Old Country Buffet parody Twitter account?
No.
Okay. Old Country... Yeah, because I went into this Twitter account. I was like, this looks like the Old Country Buffet Twitter account. And they didn't have many followers. And so it looked like it was the right one. But then I started reading them. And so this is at Old Country Buffet, but with one F in buffet.
Okay.
And so it's a fun little Twitter account. I didn't read that many of the tweets, but one of the things I love about it is that they refer to their restaurant staff as buffet lords in all caps. So the first one I saw was severe weather over here. Remember, folks, if you see lightning, consult the buffet lords and ask them for guidance.
That's funny.
But where did it go? Shit. Okay, this one is so fucking good. This is definitely my favorite. Customers, please don't come into the kitchen. Our buffet lords shouldn't be interrupted when butchering, and your safety is our highest concern. I fucking love. I love the idea.
I'm here now, and I'm seeing the one. This is, by the way, this is a defunct account. But I would like to see the one.
Oh yeah, this is from years ago. I didn't even notice.
The one right above that. OCB would like to remind you that desire is the root of all suffering.
Yeah. I just
which is true if you think about it.
Yeah, I am thinking about it. I love the idea of of the buffet lords at Old Country Buffet butchering animals in the back.
I like is there's a couple people. I'm seeing of these 51 tweets. I see 4 that are people who misspelled Old Country Buffet.
Yeah,
and added this account by accident.
Yeah, so there's one here just says, first time in a long time that I've eaten at Old Country Buffet, hashtag Old Country Buffet. And they spelled buffet right in the hashtag, but incorrectly in the Twitter name there.
And this one from Nathan Davidson, thanks @_Nathan Davidson. April 23rd, 2015, Breakfast of Champions, thanks Old Country Buffet, and I need to know, champion of what?
It's diabetes, actually. It's the champion of diabetes. Here's a nice one. It's the hashtag best part of hashtag waking up is hashtag OCB coffee in your cup. That might actually be, That
might be someone else's.
That might be copyrighted. That might be trademarked, actually.
All right, Kyle. So is that the end of our show? I know it feels like I keep trying to end it, but you said you had to go early, and you keep being like, our podcasts are too long.
Yeah, no, we should.
So I'm in Kyle's corner. If you're like, I don't want the show to end yet. First of all, I guess thanks. Second of all, it's Kyle's fault. I'm advocating for him.
Okay, we'll go out on this last tweet from @Old Country Buffet.
I guess Buffett, Old Country Buffett.
Old Country Buffett. Remember, Old Country Buffet will always love you, even if you don't love us back.
Bye.